Have you ever wondered why you are the way you are? Why do you do the things that you do? Does it seem like there's something beneath the surface that's driving your behavior? Guess what? You'd be right, and there is something beneath the surface. I'm Luke. Welcome to another episode of the Vision to Victory podcast, where we discuss becoming the most authentic you so you can live with purpose, passion, and joy. Last week, we started the conversation on the topic of identity. And we defined identity simply as what you believe about yourself, what you believe about what you can and can't do, what you believe about your past, your present, and your future, what you believe about the painful moments in your life. Identity is what you believe about yourself. I shared a quote from A.J. Vaden that says, "Identity is the foundation on which everything else in your life is built. It is the silent partner in every decision you make, every relationship you have, and every goal that you set." If our identity is truly driving every aspect of your life, I think you'd agree that we can't leave it to chance. And make no mistake, if you don't determine what you believe about yourself, it will be determined for you. We talked about the identity feedback loop, how the beliefs that we start with lead to the thoughts that we think, and the thoughts that we think lead to the actions that we take, and the actions lead to results, and those results will inevitably reinforce the beliefs that we started with. So let's say you're facing a challenging situation, maybe a job loss or a struggling relationship. If you start with the belief of, I got this, I am someone who learns and grows in tough situations, I can make the most out of this, then if that's your belief, then your thoughts will be centered around how to make those beliefs true. We do this whether we realize it or not. If I believe I can, then my thoughts will be around, how can I do this? Like, how can I make this happen? And then the actions that you take will be the answers to those thought questions, right? If I believe I can, my thoughts will be, how do I do it? The actions I take will be actually doing what needs to be done. And then the results you get will inevitably be positive. And then that will reinforce the belief that you started with, that you can do it. On the contrary, it's the same with negative beliefs. If you start with a posture of, I can't, or I'm a victim, like life somehow happens to me, then your thoughts will, of course, be negative. Like, it's just something else. I can't get ahead. And if you have those thoughts, then the actions you take, you won't ever take actions that would actually lead to you getting ahead or doing what needs to be done, because you don't believe that you can anyway. And so you may give some half-hearted efforts, and then your results will be mediocre at best, reinforcing the belief that you started with, which is you can't do whatever it is that you want to do. So again, the identity feedback loop, the beliefs that we start with are critical because they set the trajectory of everything else, our thoughts, our actions, and then, inevitably the results that we get. I want to talk about what we can do to reshape our beliefs. So what we were talking about was something being beneath the surface, driving behavior. That is our beliefs. It's our identity. It's what we believe about ourselves. And what I've learned, is that oftentimes we don't realize what we believe. We think we know what we believe, but our actions and the results we get say that we believe something different. And so today I want to talk about what it looks like to reshape our beliefs and reorient our life to get the results that we want and to live the life that we want to live. So number one, we need to create space for introspection and reflection. This looks like creating space and time in your schedule to just be with your thoughts. Busyness and distractions are the enemy of progress. And so if there's an area in your life that you're not seeing the results that you would like to see, one of the reasons could be that you have crowded out time to identify what's actually holding you back and then to address it and do something about it. So, number one, create space for introspection and reflection. And for me, this looks like the mornings before demands of the day start crowding out my mind, where I can take time to just think. And if there's some area of my life that I'm trying to make progress in, I maybe think of what the obstacles are and what I could do to move forward. Number two, we need to specifically identify the beliefs that are holding us back. You need to specifically identify whatever it is that's leading to those negative thoughts or the thoughts that are not serving you, that are leading to the actions that are not getting you the results that you want. So what does this look like? If you're not getting the results that you want in an area of your life, you need to work backwards. So what are the actions that you're taking to get those results? The results that you are not, positive, that you don't like. What are the actions that you're taking that you're trying to get the results that you want? And then work backwards from there. Okay, what are the thoughts behind those actions? And then you can work all the way back to the beliefs. And so we need to, number one, create space for introspection and reflection. Number two, identify the beliefs that are holding us back, working backwards from the results that are not what we're looking for. And number three, replace the limiting belief with empowering beliefs. So let's say you have limiting beliefs of self-doubt. You maybe would tell yourself that I can't do this or I don't have what it takes, some version of that, which every single person on this planet has had those moments, by the way. This is just part of the human experience. But if you have beliefs of self-doubt, then you need to acknowledge that there's a belief that you don't really believe you can do what it is that you want to do. You have to acknowledge it first and then replace it with a truth. And sometimes we have to tell ourselves the truth enough times to believe it. So as cliche as it might sound, you might need to remind yourself every day that I have what it takes. I have heart, I have grit, I do what needs to be done to get the results that I want. And you need to remind yourself that you are someone who can overcome challenges and who does the hard work. We don't want to stay stuck in these old beliefs that aren't serving us and maybe have been reinforced by dysfunctional patterns, when we can address the belief, change the pattern, and then that'll reinforce a new belief and a new pattern. Number four, we need to clearly define the actions that we need to reinforce the empowering beliefs. So we replace the limiting belief with an empowering belief, and then we define what we need to do, the actions that we need to take to get the results that we want that are in line with the correct belief. So this might look like, let's say you have a goal to lose 20 pounds in 60 days. Then some of the actions you would need to take are obvious. Maybe you need to remove the junk food from your pantry, maybe and not get more, right, from the grocery store. Maybe you need to commit to exercising 3 days a week. Whatever it is, we need to clearly define the actions. And then instead of getting overwhelmed by the entirety of the goal, or, in that case, lose 20 pounds, that seems daunting maybe, we just focus on what we can do today, the step we can take today. So we clearly define the actions needed to reinforce empowering beliefs. Number five, we commit to consistency. One of my favorite quotes is, "It's the things that nobody sees that lead to the results that everybody wants." It's the things nobody sees that lead to the results that everyone wants. If you want great results, be consistent. Make no mistake, if you ever come across somebody that is absolutely excellent at what they do, maybe somebody that's in really great shape all the time, I promise you, they have been consistent when they didn't feel like it. They've been consistent when other people wouldn't. They've been consistent. Consistency trumps intensity every single time. And finally, number 6, adapt. Life happens. Things will get in the way. We just talked about this a couple weeks ago, how if you set out to make positive change in your life, you will always run into opposition. The difference between successful people and everybody else is that successful people don't stop. Successful people adapt. They find a way. Their goals and their dreams are not optional. So you will need to adapt. And I've talked about this before. If you set out to make change, whatever is new will cost you what is old. I've said it before that your new life will cost you your old life. So it's important to recognize that. And if you set out to make change, then realize that opposition will come up and you'll just need to adapt, roll with the punches, but stay consistent. Now, I want to go back to the beginning of what I said, which was, if you don't actively determine what you believe about yourself, it will be determined for you. So we need to take an active and intentional role in shaping our beliefs. Our life, your life, is too important to leave to chance. It's too important to be determined by other voices, whether that's, the culture voices or the negative thoughts in your head. Your life and your purpose is too important. We need to be active in shaping our beliefs and our identity. So I hope today you take one small step towards a dream today. I hope today you take one limiting belief and replace it with something empowering, replace it with the truth that you have heart, you have grit, you have what it takes to win. Take that step today. Take another one tomorrow. And I hope that if this is helpful for you, you share it with somebody, like, subscribe, and we'll be back next week for another episode in our identity. Have a blessed day.